Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari Hari. Okay, devotees. Хорошо. Jai Devaki. Uvidam sa zavtra. Devaki. Haribol. Uvidam sa zavtra. See you all tomorrow. Radha Darshani Paramatma Gokul Orliga. See you tomorrow. Okay, devotees, now is questions and answers. Oops, what happened? All right, I got to find where the questions here. All right, here we go. All right. What? Okay. So, devotees, we have some questions to answer. Let's see. We have 19 questions to answer. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesh Tarne Sri Krishna Chaitanya Pramanityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivas Adi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchkalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhyevacha. Paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Okay, so here we go. I've asked devotees for a reference where it is mentioned in Shastra that in the month of Damodar, if we wrap cotton around the dried tulsi branch or a twig and lighting it like a lamp, I'm told it is mentioned in Padma Purana and Hari Bhakti Vilas, but the devotees couldn't give me chapter or verse number. I wanted to know whether we should show lamps like this or not. I will do it only if you say it, or else I will not. You know, I would say that you don't need to. You really don't need to. You can just use a candle, you know, a little candle like they use for children's birthday parties. Just some sort of lamp. The thing is the light, really. Yeah. I've learnt from Panihati Temple some mantras for waking up the Gurus, Panchatattva, and the Supreme Lord. Mantras about Achman for the Lord, brushing his teeth and wiping his face. There are so many other mantras while worshipping the Lord. Can I use those mantras before first initiation? Yes, you can, unless they're forms of Gayatri mantras. But otherwise, just the general mantras for waking up the gurus and everyone. Achman, you can use those mantras. You can do that. So, next question. Did Srila Prabhupada ask us to do Bhishma Panchak? If yes, what are the benefits of doing Bhishma Panchak? Srila Prabhupada did not ask us to do Bhishma Panchak. But having said that, it's a traditional Vaishnav practice. So, if you really want to, you can do it. Prabhupada didn't do it. I've never done it. I'm not intending doing it. It's more karma kandya. It's more on the material level for material benefit, generally. What is Katyayani Vrata? Katyayani Vrata is the vow, and not just vow, but the whole religious program that the gopis did because they wanted Krishna as their husband. So they were all worshipping Katyayani for the month of Katyayani, which is starting on the 20th. Because traditionally, amongst ladies who are following the Vedic tradition, if you want to get a good husband, they say you should worship Katyayani. She's a form of Durga. So the gopis did that. And at the end of the month, Krishna came and accepted them as his wives indirectly. Can we change our destiny with our karmas, or whatever happens, good or bad, as a result of our past birth karmas, will happen anyways. You know, if you're not a devotee, if you're not practicing Krishna consciousness, then yes, whatever happens to you is coming from your karmas. But if you're a devotee, if you're really trying to serve Krishna and practice Krishna consciousness, then whatever comes in your life is the mercy of Krishna. What is the significance of doing a 7-round arati to their lordships? Many people ask us the reasons why 7. Is it that to transcend the 7 lokas to reach Goloka Vrindavan? You know, we don't exactly do a 7-round arati. What we generally do, although there's no hard and fast rule, is in arati 7 times round to the feet, 3 times round to the waist. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. To the feet, 4 times round. To the waist, twice round. To the head, 3 times round. And to the whole body, 7 times. It's just a traditional system, just to keep it regulated. Otherwise, people are just going to do whatever some different things. So it's just a traditional system to keep things regulated. Of recently, while sitting in class during Srimad Bhagavatam or Srimad Bhagavad Gita, I tend to get very sleepy. Sometimes my head nearly falls down without me realizing. This only started like a month ago. Am I doing some offenses or something wrong? You know, the most likely answer to that is you're not getting enough sleep. It's the most likely thing. Because if you don't get enough sleep, you fall asleep. Yeah. So if I was you, I would take a look at your schedule, do a little time management, and make sure you get enough sleep at night. If you are getting enough sleep, like you previously you were doing, then the most likely cause is that you're not being attentive. You're letting your mind run off here and there. Then you'll fall asleep. But if you're very attentive, if you're listening very carefully, then it's not likely that you'll fall asleep, even if you don't get enough sleep at night. But you should get enough sleep and then be very attentive in the classes. Some days, my mind is very much absorbed in chanting. The other days I find it difficult to concentrate, or my mind doesn't want to chant. Why is that? Why can't it always get fixed in chanting whenever I sit to chant? What causes it to sway like that? You know, there are different possibilities there, but one point is that because you are a conditioned soul with many attachments in this world, then therefore some days some of those attachments will rise up more strongly than others. This is one reason. So, yeah, your attachments just come up. Another possibility is that you are not giving your attention sufficiently. You know, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Prabhupada's spiritual master, He said in the morning you should beat your mind 100 times with shoes, and in the evening beat your mind 100 times with a stick. It doesn't exactly mean you should literally do that, but definitely what it does mean is you have to take control of your mind and not just let your mind wander here and there. So that's what I'd recommend, that you really keep your mind focused, not just, whether your mind feels like it or not, or whether you feel like it more or less, but you make a point of taking your mind and focusing your mind. And even if your mind doesn't want to sometimes, but you keep focusing your mind. So it is arising from your conditioned nature, that's why. Habit, deeply ingrained habits. But you keep chanting every day, not less than 16 rounds. Gradually those habits will start reducing and disappearing. Why am I Krishna conscious only while chanting? Why am I materially conscious in the times when I'm not chanting? How can I always stay in Krishna consciousness 24 hours? Well, a type of answer would be that keep chanting, don't stop. But another answer would be that when you're not chanting, engage yourself in some Krishna conscious activity, some devotional service. And if you keep focused on Krishna, even if you're not chanting, but you keep your activities focused on Krishna, you keep your thinking focused on Krishna, thinking about Krishna, then you'll be Krishna conscious. Is Harinam Sankirtan of greater importance than Harinam Japa? No, they're both equally important, really. Although we can note, it's an interesting and important point, that Srila Prabhupada has ordered us, and prior to Prabhupada, it was also a practice that devotees must chant a certain number of rounds on their beads. Srila Prabhupada chose 16. So, but for chanting in Harinam, singing, there's no such rule that you must sing in kirtan for so long or so many times like that. But there is this rule, very important rule, that you must chant. In our days now, we must chant 16 rounds minimum, japa. So in that sense, there's a type of importance to japa, which is not exactly there in Harinam Sankirtan. But they're both important, very important. Okay, number 11, Lord Gauranga says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Amateke amabhaktir seva bada. My devotee service is greater than my own service. What is the true nature of the service to pure devotees? Well, to pure devotees, there's devotees, and then there's pure devotees. So if you mean a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, then service to Srila Prabhupada means to spread his mission. That's the main service to Prabhupada. Yes. Otherwise, if you're referring in a more general sense to devotees, not only Srila Prabhupada, then you ask, how can we make them happy? because material riches don't make them happy. How can fallen souls like us serve pure devotees? Well, I can make a suggestion. I can make a couple of suggestions. First one, ask them, what can I do for you? Yes, you ask them. And they may say, no, it's all right, it's all right. So that's fine. But then what you have to do, you have to watch them for some time and just see what they need. They may not tell you, well, I need this or that. But if you watch them, you will see what they need in their lives, and then you can provide that. Yes. But you can also be sure that if in their presence you glorify Krishna, you glorify Prabhupada, you chant Hare Krishna, you can be sure they'll be very pleased. Number 12. Jo modasya sakrita nindakore, mora nam kalpataru tahare sangare. Anyone who criticizes my devotees and also chants my name being a wish-fulfilling kalpa tree, causes his demise. Does he mean to say that anyone who has committed an offense to a Vaishnav should not chant, or the holy name will destroy him, even if he's feeling regretful or repentant? No, you should keep chanting. You must keep chanting. If you've criticized a devotee, you must go and apologize to the devotee. Not that if you criticize a devotee and then you realize, oh, I shouldn't have done that then you just chant Hare Krishna. No. If you've criticized a devotee, you must go and apologize and satisfy them. That's what you must do. Yeah, but you must keep chanting anyway. Because in the beginning of chanting, when someone is very new to Krishna consciousness, it is inevitable and unavoidable that they will commit some offenses, because they are very deeply conditioned from many years and many lifetimes in the material world. So the chanting initially, at least sometimes or even a lot of the time, will be offensive. But those new devotees must continue chanting, and gradually they'll become purified. How to get rid of laziness while chanting. What to do when we're feeling sleepy while chanting. You know, Prabhupada said, if you're feeling sleepy, stand up. Yeah. And if you're still feeling sleepy, walk up and down and chant. Yes. These are the best things to do. What does chanting with humility mean? Chanting with humility means Trinada Pisa Nichena Tarora Pisa Hishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Lord Chaitanya says one should chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. Yeah. And being free from any sense of false prestige, ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, you can chant constantly. So, yeah. So, chanting with humility means then that we should be conscious that actually I am foolish. And I've only got this chanting by mercy, not because I'm some sort of special person. I've only got it through mercy. This is chanting with humility. And if you find that difficult, then pray to Krishna as follows. My dear Lord Krishna, I know I am foolish, but my problem is that I am so foolish that I don't realize how foolish I am. So Krishna, please help me to see myself for what I am, and then in a natural way I'll be humble, because I'll be seeing that, who am I? I'm nobody. Like that. According to Srila Prabhupada's books, Krishna is full in all six opulences: beauty, wealth, strength, knowledge, fame, and renunciation. Recently in one of our classes we mentioned that Srimati Radharani's husband Abhimanyu is Krishna's expansion. You also mentioned that he is super full. How can he be a fool if he's Krishna's expansion? You know, he is an expansion. He's an incarnation of Krishna's shadow. So he's not directly an incarnation of Krishna like Lord Ram or Lord Chaitanya, Lord Varaha, Lord Vamana, and so on. He's a special personality manifested to enhance the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Enhance the pastimes by providing challenges, providing obstacles for Radha and Krishna, so it's more difficult for them to meet. So he's a special creation for the sake of pastimes, Abhimanyu. Now there are two Abhimanyus. One was the son of Arjuna, who was killed in the battle of Kurukshetra. And the other is this Abhimanyu, the son of Jatila. So we're talking about Abhimanyu, the son of Jatila. Yeah, he's not directly an incarnation, but he's a special manifestation from the shadow of the Lord to provide all sorts of stupid things to make the pastimes more exciting. What to do when your family members commit offenses to the Lord and his devotees? Do such acts of our family members affect our devotion? Well, if you're exposed to them, if you hear them speaking offensively, and if you do not do anything to stop them, that will affect your devotion. You know, if you cannot correct them, if they're just too offensive and just, you can't really discuss these things in intelligent ways with them, then ideally you should avoid them. Because relatives, they're not what they seem to be. Relatives, in fact, are just spirit souls who are wandering around in material existence. But somehow or other in this lifetime, they've entered your life. And at the end of this lifetime, they'll just go off somewhere else. So the relationship with family members is not as deep and therefore not as important as people generally think. And particularly if a family member is offensive to Krishna and offensive to devotees And if you try to explain to them nicely and get them to stop, but they will not stop, then it's best to avoid their association, because it will affect your devotion. When we sing bhajans written by our acharyas, is it necessary to understand and memorize the meaning, or just learn the bhajan alone? At least learn the bhajan, the words of the song. And once you've learnt them, try to learn the translation. Of course, we should understand what we are singing. Otherwise, it's just some sort of noise. But first you should learn the words. And then, once you've learnt them, you can learn the translation, so you know what you're singing. Because if you don't know what you're singing, how can there be any emotion, any feeling? But if you know that here, I'm praying to the Lord for this or for that, then you can sing with real feeling. How to develop love and gratitude for Srila Prabhupada. Well, one thing I'll recommend is reading Prabhupada Lilamrita. And when you've read that, read the other biographical books about Prabhupada. There's quite a number. Transcendental Diary of Harisori Prabhu. Recently, Giriraj Maharaj published a really wonderful book. What is it now? I Will Build You a Temple. Yeah, sure, that's a book. That's just amazing. So, yeah, if you read these things, these books, which reveal to you who is Prabhupada, what did he do? And like in Lilamrita, we are just reading. We read the first volume. We're somewhere in the middle or so of the second volume. And, it's just the beginning of the movement. Prabhupada is struggling in different ways. And that really gives some inspiration to appreciate that, look, Prabhupada did this and he did that. Yeah. So I would suggest to read those literatures, beginning with Prabhupada Lilamrita from the beginning. Bhishma Panchak is for 5 days, starts on Ekadasi and ends on full moon day. This year it started today, and the full moon is on Friday, which is in total 6 days. Previously in 2018, it was 4 days. So when should we break fast? Sometimes there are variations in days because we're following the phases of the moon, not the phases of the sun. I mean, the sun doesn't exactly have phases, but, midnight is the end of one day and the beginning of the next day. So we, in a lunar calendar, a lunar day may end in the beginning of one of our solar days. Yes. So overlapping, etc., can be there when you follow a lunar calendar. So therefore, you get these phenomena sometimes. Yeah. So, but this year, you should break fast. Well, if you're in South Africa, put it that way. You should break fast at the moonrise on Thursday. Hare Krishna, devotees. Thank you for the nice questions. We look forward. We'll see you tomorrow for reading more Prabhupada Lilamrita. The next questions and answers session will be in 2 weeks from today. Means what? The 28th. Yeah. So if you have some questions, send them in on Facebook, and we'll answer those questions on the 28th. Excuse me. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.